Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on SEO 101, Learn to Rank Higher. I'm Bob Hogan, the webinar coordinator today and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County. And I'm going to be your host, and our presenter is Jennifer DeRosa. More on Jennifer in just a minute, but first some brief information on SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit national partner of the SBA with over 10,000 volunteers nationally. And locally here at SCORE Fairfield County, we have over 100 volunteers with a wide range of industry, process, and subject matter expertise. And we offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners. And Jennifer, if I could just ask you to advance the slide, please. First of all, we offer free one-on-one counseling, and you can access that in person, by video, by telephone, whatever works best for you. And you can request a mentor using the yellow bit.ly link that you see on the screen, or you can go to our website and just click on the request a mentor button. Secondly, we offer a wide range of business education programs in the form of in-person workshops and the online webinars like we are offering here today. And lastly, we offer extensive resources on our website, including access to subject matter experts, business tools, and information. Our next live webinar is next Tuesday, March 26th at noon, and the topic is the new Corporate Transparency Act with Cliff Enico presenting. And again, you can find more specifics on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org. And if you're on our website, we also have a large number of recorded webinars that you can access at any time, and those are on a wide range of business topics. You just go to our website and go to on-demand webinars, and you'll see them listed there. Just some logistics about today's event. We have set aside time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you have a question, you can type it in at any time using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And our webinar will end sharply at 1 o'clock to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be available on our website within the next day or so. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Jennifer DeRosa. Jennifer is the founder of Toto Coaching, an online website and building course with weekly coaching to help small businesses and entrepreneurs build a solid, effective website. She is an MIT graduate in no-code AI and ML, and author of Building DIY Websites for Dummies. Prior to forming Toto Coaching, Jennifer sold her successful website development agency, TechCare, so she could focus on coaching others. Prior to forming TechCare, Jennifer was a consultant for such major companies as MBCC, US Surgical, GTE, GE Capital, Unilever, and Calvin Klein. I'll now turn it over to Jennifer. Jennifer, it's all yours. You're on mute.
Yes, I know. We're trying to get the mute off. So how is everyone today? I hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday. And we're going to have a little bit of fun today. 1 second. That's good. I just wanted to type a little note in there. So today we're going to be talking about search engine optimization for your website. And I'm just going to go over a little bit of the agenda, and then we're going to get started. So we're going to be talking about knowing your customer, why that's important for SEO. We're going to talk about leveraging Google Search Console, a little bit about keyword research, a little bit about optimizing your pages and posts, a bit about local search if you're a local business, that's important to you, that's different than regular Google search, and promoting lead generation. So first of all, just thank you so much, Bob, for that great introduction. And as Bob mentioned, I've been doing HTML for a long time, building websites. I learned it in 1994 for fun after my day job, and it has become a career for me. And if you have questions, I see someone raise their hand, just put your questions right into the Q&A section. Thank you so much. I'll do them at the end so we can be focused on what we need to do. So I formed a web development agency, which I sold so that I can teach other entrepreneurs how to build websites and do search engine optimization and promote their online presence, because nobody out there is doing exactly what the information that I'm giving out. Web developers know a lot of information. They learn it. Most web developers are self-taught. And that information that we know is not being given to the general public. It is here and there randomly, you can watch a video here or there or whatever, but there's nothing cohesive. So that's what I've done is I put that together in both my book and in my courses on Toto coaching. So that is been my dream to do this, to teach others, and I'm finally doing it. So I love it. And I also have an SEO agency. So we do all these things here that we're talking about. And as Bob mentioned, I graduated from a program at MIT. It was on artificial intelligence, and I've done other webinars on artificial intelligence for Fairfield County SCORE and in person as well. And I'm going to be doing one coming up in May. We're just scheduling that now, so it's really awesome. So you might want to make sure you're on, check your Fairfield County SCORE emails to get that. And I'd love to see you there. And I have a giveaway. It's a checklist, basically. If you go to this URL, I'll put it up at the end as well. But these are kind of the notes from the meeting. And if you get this and download it, you can scribble on it, or you can take notes from scratch, whatever. But I have this checklist for you that covers some of the things that we're going to go over in this webinar. Okay, so it's totocoaching.com/SEO checklist, all one word. Okay, so let's start off. Make sure we're all on the same page. What is SEO? SEO stands for search engine optimization. That means that you want to optimize your website for search engines so that search engines understand what you're offering. And when someone is doing a search online, when a searcher is doing a search online, that the search engine will return your website because they understand your offer and they believe that your offer matches the search intent of the searcher. I'm going to say this again in case this is the first time you're watching me or you haven't heard this before. This is a new concept. Because understanding this gives you a whole different idea of SEO. Okay? If search engines understand what your offer is, whatever your services are or your products are or what you're offering, if they understand it because you set your website up properly, you have put certain information in certain places where they expect to see it. If you have done that on your website, the benefit of that is when somebody is doing a search online, search engines try to understand their search intent. They try to understand, what are they looking for? What are they looking to do? Are they looking to purchase something? Are they looking to learn more about something? Are they looking for a bit of data? Are they looking, what do they want to buy? What are they looking to do? That's called their search intent. When the search intent of a searcher matches your offer, you want your website to be returned in what's called the SERP, the search engine's results page. You want it to come up in that, right? We want to come up in 1, 2, or 3. Everyone wants to come up there. It's not magic. It doesn't happen by magic, okay? And if you're coming up today in 1, 2, or 3, that's great, but that doesn't mean you'll stay there. Changes all the time. In the early 2000s, we used to have a little competition with some of my other fellow web developers for a Stanford web developer in Stanford, Connecticut. We would always jockey. We would move around 1, 2, 3. So what I'm saying is if you're number 1 now, doesn't mean you're going to stay there. And if you're number 11 right now, you can move up if you do the right things. Well, there's an opportunity to move up, and there's also the opportunity to move down. For some of my search terms, I'm all over the place. One day, 60 points. I'll be up and then I'll be down, swinging. So can't control it, but we want to do our best. That is the goal. So what are search engines? Some of them, you know of them, Google, Bing, Yahoo Search, DuckDuckGo has been popular lately. We have ones around the world, Baidu, etc. Okay, so we understand that, right? We're going to get our website good so that search engines know what our offer is. Why do I do this? What do I need to do? It's not one thing. And if you've hired someone to do SEO, you need to know what they've done. Here's a sample list of things you can do. Search engine optimization. I meet with a lot of people from SCORE, follow-ups from SCORE. And when I meet with them afterwards, I ask them about, did you hire an SEO agency to, help you with your website? And they're like, yep, I hired somebody. I'm like, what were they doing? They're like, SEO. I'm like, well, what were they doing? Well, I don't know. They were doing SEO. Okay, it's not one thing. It is not one thing. It is all these different things, which we're going to go over in this, some of these. We're not going to go over all of these. I have highlighted some of these that are in pink, that are like the most important ones. Okay. And this is the other thing. This takes time. And there's no guarantees. It is, if someone tells you that they can guarantee that you're going to get on position 1, 2, or 3, I would be a little wary of that. Because if someone knew how to get on 1, 2, or 3, don't you think everyone would have paid for that already? The people with the deep pockets. Okay. So it takes time. And when I say take time, what does that mean? It can take months. It can take a year. Okay. So you need to have patience on this. Okay. 2 types of SEO: on page and off page. On page means those are things that you can do on your website. That's what you do on your website. You have access to your website. And by the way, if you don't have access to your website, I mentioned this in a lot of my other webinars, because I come from a website development background instead of just straight SEO. I care a lot about your website and how you work with how you're working on it, etc. You need to have, if you have someone else build your website, you need to make sure you have admin rights to your website. That is not okay if you're not given administrative rights to it. That's not an okay answer. So I hope you have admin rights to your website. And if you don't, you need to get them. It is your website. You own it. It's just like you have keys to your home. You don't have to like get someone to buzz you into your own house or your business. We're talking about business, right? You don't get someone to buzz. You have keys to it. Same thing to your website. You own it. You need to have admin rights. So just FYI. So because you have admin rights, you can go in and do whatever you want on your website, right? So that's on page. Those are things we do on page. Off page, some of the things you can control. If it's an account that you log into that you can control, for example, your Google business profile, you can control that, or a listing, like on an online listing. Okay. But there's a lot of things off page that you don't have control over. Like if someone gives you a link to your website or not, you cannot control that. People can link to you that you don't want to link to you. You can't stop that. But also, you can try to get more good links to your website. Okay. So off page are things that you cannot control, and on page are things that are on your website. Okay. Today, we're going to talk mostly about on page optimization. And by the way, this was really easy to do. This whole webinar was easy for me to put together because this is my SEO course. I have an SEO course that teaches you how to do all of this. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to do an audit. You want to find out where you stand. That's what you would do with anything. Okay, think about this. This is a competition. When you are trying to get into the top positions in search engine results on the SERP, the search engines results page, when you're trying to get into the top 1, 2, or 3, or top 10, doesn't matter, wherever. This is a competition. If you were going to enter into a competition anywhere, like a race you're going to run, or, a weightlifting competition or swimming competition, whatever the competition is, okay, you're going to enter into a competition. You would find out the rules, and you would find out what makes someone more likely to win. And what are the things that will disqualify you? And what do you have to, who is your competition? How are they in really tip-top shape? Do you need to get into better shape? What needs to happen? That's the same thing here. So you want to do an audit. It's kind of like getting a baseline. Let's get a baseline, right? So you want to use it. Here are a couple tools you can use. There's tons of tools. This is not an exhaustive list, and I don't really promote one of these over the other. I'm just giving you this list of possible tools. Okay, it's in my giveaway too as well. You want to find out where you stand, okay? You want to see what your domain authority is. Some tools call it an authority score or something else. You want to see what how search engines for your website. Do you have duplicate content on your website? Are you using your heading tags correctly? Like, what's going on with your website? Do you have a lot of toxic backlinks? Did you pay someone $350 to buy you backlinks? Then you probably have a very toxic backlink profile if you did that. So your audit, you want to do an audit and get an idea of where you stand now. Okay, let you know what you need to do. If you have a website that has a very low domain authority or authority score, you're not going to be able to compete with websites that have a high domain authority score. Okay, it's just like levels. Like if you're on whatever level, if you're on entry level 1, you're not competing with the entry, the people who have been doing it, like have a higher score. Okay, so you need to know that information so you know what to do. It helps you with your strategy to move up. You can't just build a website and put it online and be like, okay, now all of a sudden all these people are going to come to it. And one of the reasons why is you have to think like search engines. What's their goal? They're in business. They're business also. Okay, so let's step back for a second. And then I'm going to talk about Google Search Console. So if you step back and you think about search engines, they're in business. What's their business? Their business is to return the best websites possible. That's their goal. If they returned crappy websites, people wouldn't use that search engine anymore. Like imagine if you always use the search engine and you got the worst results every time. You would say, this is a horrible search engine. I'm trying another one. So with that in mind, search engines want to return the best websites. If you do not have one of the best websites, they are not going to return yours. They have millions of other websites that they can return that are good. So just because you go on Wix or Squarespace or GoDaddy and you put together, or WordPress, and you put together something and you built it, okay, yeah, you built something. That doesn't mean that search engines are going to love your website or people. Those are just tools. They don't make you have a good website. So these are the things that you need to do. You need to make it really good so that search engines will look on your website and say, oh, this looks like a good website. I return this website. When people click on it, they stay on it a while. Okay, yeah, let's keep returning this website because our customers love it. They're going to keep using us. All right, we all got that, right? So Google Search Console is your friend. It gives you so much information about organic search. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about search engine optimization, helping your website. What does organic search mean? Organic search means when somebody does a search online, like you do a search, right? You search for something, right? You're just searching. And you don't click on an ad because those ones come up at the top, the sponsored, but you come up in the list, right? And they click on you. That is an organic search. Okay. And you got the click. Your website got the click when someone clicked on it. Google Search Console will tell you so much information and it's free. So if you don't have it set up, I'm encouraging you to set it up today. You can, and you may think you have it set up, by the way, and you go in and you can't find your account. You might have multiple search, multiple IDs, Google IDs or associated with Google ID. And so you might have to log into different IDs in order to access your Google Search Console. Google Search Console will tell you your performance. They're going to tell you, this is what it looks like. These are some examples from some other websites, okay? They tell you the total number of clicks. Look at this first one. They got 292 clicks during this time period. This website got 3,440 clicks, right? This one got 880, okay? Then it tells you the impressions. How many times was your website returned when someone did a search online? And search engines, or Google in this case, thought that your website matched their search intent. It's not saying you got return on position 1, it's saying your website was returned. And then this is the average click-through rate. How often do people click through to get to your website, and then you see your average position, and then you can see all your search terms below. It is so awesome. I'm telling you, I love Google Search Console. So that's a really, really good tool that you want to have installed on your website. Okay. Or it's not really installed on your website, but you want to have that set up. This is another thing. SEO starts with your customer. Okay. Starts with your customer. Most SEO agencies do not include this in part of what they offer. So if you're going to be doing this yourself, you want to start this way. And if you're going to be, you can take my course and learn how to do this. I teach you how to do all these steps. If you're going to be hiring a SEO agency, you want to make sure that they're going to start with your customer. Okay. You want to understand your customer. You can do this by doing a buyer persona. It's really awesome. It's really amazing. You get so much information. Or you can do, I love to do this big, huge table of information with pain points, the benefit of your offer, and the pain points customers have, the benefit of your offer, and the features that enable that benefit. And it gives you so much great information. Why is this important? I had a client. I have a client, and they had hired an SEO agency. And the SEO agents, they build these beautiful large homes in New Canaan, Connecticut. Well, they're out of New Canaan, but they build them in Fairfield County, okay, Greenwich and Ridgefield and stuff like that, Wilton. And they do large additions and they do large remodels, like large, beautiful. So they hired an SEO agency. They were paying them $1,500 a month, which is standard price. You know, sometimes you can find one for less and you can find them for more. Okay, so they're paying $1,500, pretty average, a month to do SEO. And all of a sudden they started getting leads, which you would think would be great, but the leads were handyman leads. The SEO agency never stopped to understand their customer and what their offer was. Their offer was not going in and doing a bathroom, like one little bathroom remodel. That's not what they do. They do large remodels. Like if you need your kitchen and your family room and there happens to be a bathroom there, yes, they're going to do it. They're not going to come in and change your vanity out. So you have to understand your customer, and you have to understand that it needs to make sure it matches your offer. Okay. So how do you understand your customer? You need to perform discovery. You can create buyer personas. You can document these pain points. And then I love doing this. I actually put this into my course and I didn't know if I should do it or not, but I have amazing ways to leverage large language models, which are, it's called AI, writing assistants, ChatGPT, Claude. You can use that to get back amazing insights when you feed all this information in. Okay. So this is, you want to know your customer. Okay. SEO also starts with knowing your authority. I mentioned that before. Let's talk about that a little bit more. Search engines used to put out an authority score. They called it the Alexa, well, it was called the Alexa page rank, and then it was purchased. But they did a page rank. They don't really do that anymore. Now, there's a lot of tools out there like Moz, SEMrush, Ahrefs. These are like software. It's software that you can log into. You can create an account. You can pay for service. I pay for service on one of these. Okay. I can log in there and I can get a lot of information about different domains, like how my domain's doing, et cetera, right? These online tools, they have all the data. And so they put together an authority score or a domain authority. They each do it on their own. So you can go to a place like Moz, M-O-Z, or SEMrush, S-E-M-R-U-S-H, or Ahrefs, or another place, and you can try to get your authority score or your domain authority. It will look it up. They're not going to be equal because they're all private entities who are using their own algorithms to figure out what your score is. Okay. So you're not going to, you can look on one and you might be a 5 and another one you might be a 15. And they all go up to different numbers. Most of them go up to 100. But anyways, my point is you want to know your domain authority. Okay. That helps you understand how search engines view your website. If you have a very new website, you're going to have a 0. It's going to be 0. Okay. If you have purchased toxic backlinks from some black hat agency or somebody who said, I'll get you all these links and they're all toxic, your authority score might be 2 out of 100. Now, you're not going to be up in 100. 100 is reserved for like news organizations and very reputable sites that have been around for a very, very long time. Okay, those are in the 90s. You're not going to get up there. That's okay. But you want to work on it. You want to know what's average for your industry and you want to work on increasing it. So how do you increase it? Well, number one, you build a really, really good website. Okay. And then you need to get backlinks. You need to get backlinks. So backlinks are links back to your website. And I just mentioned about paying for backlinks. Okay. Yes, you can pay for them. You can get them on your own. It doesn't matter to me, but what matters to me is you get good backlinks. You want good backlinks. You don't want backlinks from terrible websites that are out there. Scammy, spammy websites. You don't want links from those. You want links from high quality, authoritative websites. That is not easy to do. And so it is work that you have to do that. That's work. And it's slow going and it takes effort. It's not an easy fix. Okay. So don't think you're just going to, I know if you don't want to do all the work on it, that's fine. But it's important that you understand that you really need to put some effort into getting backlinks. That helps your authority score rise. It also gives this authority score, the search engines, a frame of reference for if you should rank higher or lower. Remember what I said, search engines are in the business of returning good websites. So we want to work on our authority score. All the things that I'm teaching you in this webinar will help you raise your authority score, okay? In addition to getting backlinks. Backlinks is the big indicator of that, but these other things will help you, okay? And just a bit about backlinks. There's a very popular website called backlink.io. This is what it says, okay? Backlinks are essentially votes from other websites. Each of these votes tell search engines this content is valuable, credible, and useful. Okay, so I'll explain that to you in another way. If you've heard me on either in my courses or on other webinars, you know I say this a lot. If you're in high school, I'll go back to high school. You're in the cafeteria. Someone comes in to the cafeteria. You've never seen them before. It's a new student. And they're over there hanging out with the popular kids at that table. What are you going to assume? They're popular. And if another student comes in and they're new and they're hanging out with the non-popular kids, what are you going to assume? They're non-popular. The same thing with backlinks. If you're getting a lot of backlinks from spammy websites, search engines think you're a spammy website also. And remember what we said about they're not in the business of returning spammy websites. They're in the business of returning high quality websites. So you want to get high quality backlinks. So you looked at as being in the popular group. So hopefully that makes sense. It's important. It's important. So you want to work on this backlink profile. You want to get high quality links. You want to get them to be follow links, and you want to work on your anchor text, which is the actual text that is linked. Okay. Okay, so that is a little bit about getting backlinks. You want to do keyword research. Everyone's heard of keyword research, right? You probably heard of those terms. There's a lot to know about keyword research. Keyword research is an art. It is not a science. It takes it, and there's no right or wrong when it comes to it, okay? A little bit about keywords. I'm just going to tell you. There are long tail and there are short tail. What does that mean? Short tail are short, like 3 words or less. But the problem with them is there's 2 problems. One is they're usually more highly competitive. That means a lot of other websites are going for those short tail keywords as well. And usually it's hard to tell the search intent of the searcher. It's hard to tell what they really want. If I type in like chilly day, does that mean I want to know what is the average temperature for a chilly day? Do I want to see a picture of chilly days that are chilly? Do I want to know how to dress? Do I want to buy clothing for a chilly day? Do I want to get my house heated for a chilly day? Like, what do I want to do? It's hard to tell what that is, right? I'm just making that up right now. But if you type into a search box, how to dress for a chilly day in Kenya, Africa. Okay, you're going to get some information about what is a chilly day, and then maybe some information about how to dress. So now the search intent is a little more clear. So the short tail keywords are 3 words or less. It's hard to tell what the intent is, and they're usually very competitive. Long tail keywords, like I gave you how to dress for a chilly day in Kenya, that is longer. Okay, so 3 words are long. It's longer than 3 words. And it's less competitive because not everyone is going for that, because you can ask a zillion questions or put together words a zillion different ways, right? So it's not as competitive. And the search intent is more clear. So we want to do some keyword research, and we want to get some long tail and short tail keywords that we might want to go for. Okay. A lot of times my clients, I'll be like, what words do you want to go to? And they send me all these 2-word phrases. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. My job as an SEO agency is to figure out what are the real words that they need to go for, but you want to start off with that, right? So you want to think about that. So look at this. We have competition, which I've been talking about, right? How many other websites are going for that same keyword? Higher competitive words, it's harder to rank for. Lower competition has an easier chance. So if you have a very low domain authority, you look that up because you did your audit. You're not going to go for those high competitive keywords, or you can try to, but you're probably not going to rank. So you want to start for these lower ones. Okay. That's why it matters. Determine which ones you should go for. You want to look for search volume. See how many times. If 0 people are searching for what you are going for, then why go for that? It's going for a made up word. You want to go for words that people are actually searching for online. And it doesn't have to have a huge search volume. It needs to have some. It can be 0. And then you want to make sure it's relevant. Okay. You want to make sure it's relevant. So this is how you do it. You brainstorm a bunch of words. You put them all down on paper. Brainstorm, a whole bunch of words. Okay. When I say down on paper, you can put them in a Word document or a Google Doc. It doesn't matter. You put them all down, right? You write them all down. Then you look up how competitive they are and you look at the volume. All right. You also want to find related keywords too. Like, what ones are you missing out on? What ones did you not think of, or what's related? I had a client write me back this morning because we went over the keywords, and she's working on some content, creating some new pages. And she just wrote me this morning and said, I don't like these keywords. It's not what I feel like they're me. It's not how I reference it. Well, the thing is like, you might reference something one way, but people online are referencing it another. So you need to find that middle ground. Sometimes you have to use keywords that you don't want to use. Okay. If you want that traffic. So you got to find related keywords. You create a big, huge keyword list. There's other things you can do that you can look online. There's tons of ways. I give you in my course, I show you exactly how to do keyword research. There's tons of articles and blog posts and podcasts about how to do this. You create this big list, and then you assign them to your pages. Okay. So you want to get this down because you want to know what you're going for. You want to know what you're going to measure. Like when we did that baseline audit, right? When you look in Google Search Console, you want something to measure off of. Am I making the changes I'm making? Are they working? Am I doing the right thing? Are we going in the right direction? So you want to get this list started, and you want to track your position for these keywords. Okay. And then once you have your list, you want to optimize your pages and your posts. Okay. You want to do on-page optimization. You want to make changes to your website. Okay. This is what most people think about when they think about search engine optimization. They think about just this part. So you can use an AI assistant that will help you. It's okay. You can do that. Okay. You want to make sure your headings, you're using heading tags correctly. You use 1 H1 per page, not 0 and not 2 or more. And you're using your H2s properly. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and you have built your own website and you have put headings on there, subheadings, and you have not defined them as headings, you need to make sure you do. If what I'm saying to you sounds like you don't know what's going on, you need to find out about it. I teach this to my students in my course. It's important because search engines Remember what I said in the beginning, search engines are looking for pieces of information in particular spots. They're looking for information in particular spots. They will put more weight on an H1 or an H2, the words in those, than on the body copy. So you want to make sure your words are in there. You also want to make sure your keywords are in your title and your meta descriptions. And you want to think about, I put SERP considerations. That means the search engine's results page. I said that before. It's a page that comes back when someone does a search with all the listings, right? All the websites they can click on. That's your title and meta description. If you don't make it, search engines will make one for you. They will make one and you probably won't like it. You want to make it relative to your visitor and what will convince them to click. If you've risen all the way to the top of search, you want the click. You want the click. Your title and meta descriptions can determine if someone clicks on your website or not. You need to think about what their intent is, who the customer is. Remember what I talked about, know your customer? You need to understand your customer and what motivates them. What are they looking for? It's going to make them click. And then you put that language in your title and your meta descriptions. Your title and your meta descriptions should not be a description of your product. If you're a very niched product, and it's not jargon that normal people know, and you don't want to put a description or a definition of it if the people who are searching for it already know what it is. I might need to know a definition because maybe I'm not in your niche, but the people who are searching for it want other language. What are you going to give them that they really want? Okay, that's knowing your customer. So that helps you with your title and your meta descriptions. Then you want to add links on your pages. You want to add links. When you add links to other pages on your website, it makes like a web on your website, and it helps search engines understand your content better and what relates to what. Their algorithms all look at this. They look at the words that are linked. They look at the link page. They look how many pages get the most links on your website. That page is more important. And they figure out your website by getting all this information using their algorithm. So these are just some of the things you need to do for on-page optimization. There's others, but those are the most important. Okay. Local search. If you are a local business, you need to pay attention to local search. It's different. It's different than the regular search that goes into, that is regular search when you search for something. Like if I want to search for some information about what time is sunset, right? That's different search. Local search is a little bit different. You want to come up in the map, right? You want to come up here. This is where you want to come up. You want to come up here. Those near me searches. Don't worry about putting near me on your website. Okay. Everyone wants to go for like plumber near me or whatever. Okay. Don't put the words near me on your website. That does not help. Do you know how near me happens? When you do a couple things. Okay. When you set up your Google business profile correctly and your address is in there. Now you can only have a Google business profile if you service people within a 2-hour driving radius. Otherwise, if you don't, you're not supposed to have one of these technically. But you want to make sure that your address is in here. They use that. Okay. Search engines use that for the map. That's what they use first. I have a whole, I go through this whole thing with you. You need to know, you need to do your local search. If you have not done this yet, you have to work on your Google business profile. You have to fill in everything. It's really, really, really important. Okay. If you're a local business, I cannot overstate it. Like it's really important. You have to get this all done. Then you should order directories and aggregators. So directories and aggregators, you can go and make them yourself. It will take you about 5 months and you'll be miserable. It's not fun. It's better to order them and have someone else do them for you. They're directories, like you've heard of Yelp and things like that. Well, there's other directories you haven't heard of. There's all these directories. When your business, your local business, I'm talking about local, is in all these directories, search engines see this. And if you've ordered the aggregators too, you have to pay for every year. The directories you pay for once, one time. You don't have to keep repaying for them. If someone's charging you multiple times for them, that you don't need to do it one time. You get them set up once. You don't need to pay for that. People charge that over and over again. It's ridiculous. Such a money grab. Anyway, the aggregators you do have to pay for every year. And the aggregators mark your listing as fresh, so Google knows that. You know, why is this important? You know what this is? Why this is important? You may not understand. I'm going to tell you really clearly why this is important. Search engines need to return in their, remember I showed you in this, right, when it comes up, right here, all right? So they want to return the best results. Remember, that's their business. They want to return the best results. If you have moved, or your address is some places but not others, or maybe it's slightly different, it's written slightly different, or if you moved or whatever, and they're not all equal, do you know what search engines have to do? They have to guess which is the right address. They don't like guessing. If you're a CEO of a company and you're delivering a big report to a big room of stakeholders, you don't want to guess about the information. You want to make sure it's right, right? That's what ordering directories and citations and ordering the aggregators do for you. They help search engines not guess. That's why it's important. You want to order them. I show you how to order it in my course. We do that at Toto SEO. That's what we do. But you want to order them. Maybe you ordered them. You should check and make sure that they're all correct and they're all exactly equal. They need to be exact, by the way. Exact on your Google Business Profile, on your website, and here. Okay, you want to work on reviews? You want to get reviews? You want to get your reviews? Okay, it's 12:41. I want to make sure I take questions. So I'm going to kind of move through this. On your website, you need to have local schema markup. It's another thing you put on your website, because if you fill out your Google Business Profile or do these directories and aggregators, those are off page. Remember, we had on page and on page. I showed you that in the beginning. It's all ties together. Those are off page. You need something on page. Bing is not Google. DuckDuckGo is not Google. They don't use this Google Business Profile when someone is using one of those search engines to do a near me search. They're going to look at your website. You need to have this on your website. There's different places to put it depending on your platform. Local schema markup puts your longitude, your latitude, your hours of operation, your address, your phone number, your name, address, phone number, your NAP right on your website. Gotta put that on there. Okay, it's important. And now this isn't really SEO, but I'm going to tell you my version of SEO, what I believe. You can do all this stuff and get all the clicks you want, right? Who cares? Unless you get people to a thank you page. For us entrepreneurs, see, I'm an entrepreneur and you're probably an entrepreneur as well. You probably started your business or you're growing your business because you love what you do or you're really good at it, right? You want to tell the world, you want to use your website to tell the world about it. I'm the same way. I'm an entrepreneur. I sold my company, but I'm starting over with Toto SEO and Toto coaching. Like I'm starting right where you guys are. So I get it. I'm working on this. I'm working on all of this. Okay. Just like you are. If I was to get 1 million visitors to my Toto coaching website and they all looked at my SEO course, that's the stuff. And I was like, wow, I got all this traffic and I didn't get one sign up. Why bother? Why bother? Okay. We want to get people to a thank you page. I want to get people either, if I have an online e-commerce website, I want people to get a thank you for your purchase. And then I want to get them into my list so I can nurture them. If I have services that I offer, plumber, electrician, dog walker, whatever it is, I want people to fill out a form and get to a thank you page because they want to engage with me and they want to find out more so I can reach back out to them. If you don't have forms on your website, guys, you got to add them. I meet with a lot of SCORE people. You got to add these forms. Okay. That's part of this, what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about it in a second. You want to get people. So you want to promote this lead. And then when you want to get them into your list, do you know what you want to do? You want to nurture the leads. You want to send them some things. If you get on my list, I send you once a week a tip about a website. You can read it or you don't have to. You can unsubscribe. But I offer some information. You might like it. You might be like, oh my gosh, I want these tips. These are really great. They're very short. Help me in little bits of information. How can you nurture your leads that you get? What can you do? What information can you do? If you're an AC company, I'll tell you exactly what you can do. Right now, if you're an AC company, you should be sending out an email to all of your customers asking them on the first nice day next week to turn on their AC now and test it so that everyone is not calling you on June 15th when it goes over 90. And then you're stretched because your employees, you only have so many from the winter and maybe some are calling in sick and you've got a ton of jobs and you've got new installs. You don't need it then. You want to, you know what people do who are on your list, they're going to love you. They're going to be like, oh, this is so great. Because now I found out the mice ate through my wires in March and they're going to come and fix it because they have time so that when it's hot in June, I'll turn it on. Thank you, AC company. I love you. Okay. That is what lead nurturing is. You want to provide good content that people love and that you're top of mind. How do you do it? And like I said, I know it's not SEO technically, but it's about building our business and it's about why we're doing SEO, right? So we want to put CTAs, call to actions on your website, forms, buttons, links, buy now, subscribe today, get your free trial, right? You want to build landing pages. I'm going to show you the giveaway link. If you go to that, that's a landing page. Okay. You land on that page. You want to build them. They have one focus. They want you to sign up for something, subscribe, get a free trial, something like that. Add these forms to your website. Have different forms for don't have one form on your website that you use for everything, please. You need a generic contact page, excuse me, a generic contact form so that people can contact you about random things, like maybe the local Pop Warner team wants you to be a sponsor or somebody wants to ask you a question. That's fine. But you want to have another form for your leads. You want to ask them some questions that will help you qualify the lead before you meet with them, before you spend time and waste your time. You have an idea, is this a good customer or not? Or that helps you be more prepared. Okay. So you want to have different forms on your website. You want to put them on your website. If you don't have forms, please add them and don't say no one will fill them out. And I will make a bet with you that someone will fill them out. I've had that with all of my customers, my web developer, the agency, people will be like, then no one has ever filled out a form, they're not going to. And now they like rely on their forms. Okay. So people love forms, especially if it's 10 o'clock at night and someone's looking at your website, you want them to fill out the form. And then you want to make sure your website looks modern. It's fast. That's part of SEO. It needs to be fast. If your website is slow, it is not going to get returned in search. Remember, search engines want to return the best websites. They don't want to return slow websites. No one wants to wait around for your website to load. Okay. So they want them to be simple, use white space, be consistent. Okay. There's a lot of things. That's what I do in my book. My building DIY websites for dummies book. I go over that. And then that's my course, my big course. I teach you all of that, teach you how to do that. Here's your takeaway. If you're just starting out, I've given you a lot of information. You might be feeling overwhelmed, and that's okay. If this is your first time watching it, that's normal. It's normal. You learn anything new. It's normal to feel overwhelmed. Break it down into small pieces. That's what I try to do for people. That's what I do. That's the whole reason I'm doing what I do. I try to break things down and put things in order. So you focus on one thing at a time. You're not, like sometimes when you got to clean the house, right? If you look at the whole house, you're like, oh my God, it's a total mess. Just focus on one room. You focus on the kitchen. Okay, good. Or maybe you only focus on one part of the kitchen if it's super messy, whatever. It's on one thing. And then you do the next thing, one thing at a time. Here are your 3 things I want you to focus on. Know your customer. Really understand your customer. I'm telling you, this exercise is so valuable. Choose good keywords. Remember a little bit of what I talked about, and you want to optimize your page for local, and you want to optimize on page. Okay. That was a lot. I'm going to take questions now.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. We'll use the last 10 minutes or so here for taking questions. Just as a reminder, if you have a question, please type it into the Q&A button, and we'll take as many as we can up until 1 o'clock. And so our first one, Jennifer, is from Deanna. Have you heard of, I think it's DIB, and is it good for auditing? DIIB is what she has typed in.
Oh yeah, I think I might have an account there. I think that's one of the options. I think I'm on their lead nurturing list too. So I think that's one you can use. Yeah. I mean, look, everyone's going to be slightly different. So just some of them you have to pay for and some of them are free. So choose one that's in your budget and just start and see what information. But DIB, I've heard of that. Yeah. I think that's good.
Great. The next one is from Shamyo, and her question is, what's a domain authority score? I know you covered that briefly, but perhaps you could just go over the highlights again for people.
Yeah. So a domain authority score is like an authority score, or they have different names. Okay. So, but it's Google does not give it to you, or Bing. It's not something that is out there. That's one thing. These online tools, the software you can use, they come up with the authority score or the domain authority, or it can be called something else. And it really is kind of like a judgment of how good your website is, but what it takes into account mostly to give you a higher authority score is the backlinks you have and the quality of your links back to your website. So, but it helps them. You want to know that, because if you have a very low authority score, that's going to change everything you're doing here. It's going to change what keywords you're trying to go for, and it's going to change some of those things, right? But if you already have a very high authority score, you can compete. And so you're going to be going for different words.
That's great. And actually that ties a little bit into our next question from Jennifer about, what's a backlink? So maybe you just elaborate on that, because it ties into your domain authority score.
Backlink is just linked back to your website. Like if your mom, I use this example. If your mom, Bob, if you build a website and you put a link to my website, I got a backlink from you. And if on my website, my Toto coaching website, I put a link to your website, I gave you a backlink. That's all it is.
Right. And you want to make sure they're good ones.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Here's one from Mara. Does having high SEO visibility require spending a lot of money? Realistically speaking, how much per month on average would someone need to spend to maximize their SEO visibility?
That is such, it depends on the business you're in. So there's not, like, if you're in like those lawyers, the ambulance chasers, accidents like that, you're going to be very highly competitive, and you really need to be up on the top. So if you want to really do SEO right, you can probably spend $5,000-$10,000 a month on that. Okay. If you are in a lower competitive, very niche, you might be able to rise. I have a client, he's got a brand new website and he's already position 16 because he's very niched, but he's going to have low number of searches, but that's okay. Because if he only has 10 people land on his website a month and he gets all 10 leads, he's good. So it really, SEO agencies, if you want to hire an SEO agency, I can answer that question a little bit better. You're going to pay usually anywhere between, on average, $500 to $3,000 a month. But, $1,000, $1,500 a month is not unreasonable, but you need to know. Remember that list I showed you in the beginning? You need to know what they're doing for you. I met with someone from SCORE one time after one of these, and she was paying $300 a month for someone to do alternate tags on her website a month. That is like just putting a couple words on the images. I'm like, $300. Okay, first of all, that doesn't matter that much. I mean, it matters a little bit, but it matters very little. I'm like, and how many images do you have on your website? I looked at her website, it was like 15, 20 on our entire website. I'm like, honey, you're getting ripped off. These people will really rip you off like that. So you have to know what you have to ask them. If you're going to go with an agency, you've got to ask them. I do another webinar on how to hire a SEO agency. It's one of the questions. If you're going to do it yourself, you can do it. You can do it. You can at least look, if you're not going to hire someone and you are in control of your website, you should at least start. Because if you're not doing it, competition's doing it.
Good advice. Here's one from Christian. Is there a way to negate a keyword? For example, to say bamboo furniture, not bamboo plant.
Yeah, there's not, just don't put that word anywhere on your website. Don't ever put that word on your website. You can't tell search engines, I don't want you coming to my website for this. But just don't try not to use those words. You gotta be careful about your language that you use. That would be my advice.
Okay. Here's one from Edward. What are the best sites to check your website authority score and to see how healthy your website is?
Oh, you can just type in check my authority score online and it'll probably come up with Moz, Ahrefs, and SEMrush. Those are usually the top 3 that come up.
Okay, that's easy. Another one from Ed. Also, why is it that other business search has our business listing information incorrect? And if so, how can we get that information corrected for free? Or if we have to pay someone, who would you recommend to have these business listings corrected? And once they're corrected, will our website rank better in Google?
That's a lot. Okay. That's really good to think about. So let me see if I can remember all the questions. You can pay someone to do it. We do that, that's part of our SEO package, our local package. We do that, but the way that we do it is we have a service. We're signed up with a service that will do that for us. So, and then we can choose to do 30 listings at a time, 50, 100, whatever number we want to do. Okay. However many you want to pay. You can do them yourself. You can do it manually. You can find out Hot Frog, I can't even remember the names of them, Local Now. And there's all these different ones, right? I don't even remember the names of them. So you can go in and I did this a long time ago. I did that. I sat down on my couch one time when I was watching on a Sunday. My husband was watching the game or whatever. I'm like, I'm just going to do my own directories. I got through like 3 because you have to like sign up and then it sends you a verification email and you got to get the email and then you got to put in everything exactly the same. You got to copy and paste everything. And it's going to ask you sometimes your services, your description of your business. It's going to ask you for photos, your email, your fax number, all this stuff, right? So it's going to take you a long time to do it. You can do it. It depends on how valuable your time is to you. And so go ahead and do it. Or you can hire someone to do it. I teach people how to do it in one of my courses. I show you exactly how to do it, how to go in and order them. Or you can go online. There's places like Yext, if you look it up, and Bright Local and other places that will help you do that. But and then he asked if your information, why does it get incorrect? Sometimes it grabs it. Maybe you had it incorrect somewhere on something out on the internet and one of the local directories grabbed it. And then you can I always order when I'm ordering them, I always order remove harmful listings and duplicate listings and make correction. So I always order that piece. You can fix those.
Okay, here is one from Jennifer. Is there a specific website hosting platform that performs good SEO?
Well, I mean, I love WordPress and I've been dealing with that. I mean, WordPress is built just for search engines. So they have, that's one of the things that when they're creating the software, that's one of the factors that goes into how they're building their website. And then there's tools that you can get, plugins they won't help you rank better. They will tell you what you should do. They give you a checklist what to do. Some platforms, online platforms, don't have as many options for you to put in some of the information you need to, or as an additional add-on. Like I think I was working on it, maybe it was Weebly, but this was years ago and they could have changed it. Like they didn't even have heading tags as part of their online platform. You had to pay like $10 or something. It was a lot of money for the additional thing, but it's like, okay, so that's not really, but maybe they've changed. So I don't want to say anything bad, but WordPress I know is built for it.
Okay. Here's one from Rebecca. How do you assess the keyword research? Like what tools do you use? And a related question, should we do local SEO if we are primarily a virtual business that sees client online?
Well, let me answer. If the local SEO, if you're trying to, even if you see people online, but I guess that means, some people, like, for example, they'll be in healthcare and they are licensed only in certain states or whatever, or they can only, you could law or whatever, you're local because you can't, unless you're only in your state or your local area, right? So that's a local business. If you are a national business, you're not a local business. That doesn't pertain to you. And Google can ban you if they find out that you're trying to do that, trick them.
The other one was on keyword. How do you assess the keyword research and what tools?
Oh, yeah. That is just literally an art. There's a lot of tools you can use online. You can use tools like Answer the Public. You can use tools like I use SEMrush. That's what I use. SEMrush, Search Engine Marketing Rush. There's Moz, Ahrefs. There's Dib. You can use. I think that might have keyword research. There's tons of tools you can use online, and it literally is an art. It's not. There's not. Well, there's a lot of pieces to it, and I have a course, I teach you how to do it, and there's other courses online and other information. So it's really an art to doing it, but you want to do it.
Okay, we've got time for one last question from Vanessa. I think a lot of us want there to be one right answer for SEO. Can you just briefly elaborate on something you said earlier, how you see it as an art, not a science?
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. Everyone wants the magic bullet. But I want a magic bullet because I literally want to lose 10 pounds. Okay. So there's no, unless you're going to go on Ozempic, like there's no magic bullet. Is like, there's so many different factors. It's the same thing. It's like how much you exercise and how much you eat and like what your body type is and how tall you are and all that other business. Right. So It's the same thing that we're talking about here. So just start. This is the thing. This is the thing, actually, the thing that I can say. Start now, because what you do now will continue. It's like a seed you're planting. You're planting a seed and it's going to grow. If you don't sprout, it's not like Jack and the Beanstalk where you put them in and now you go the next day, right? You don't know that. Everyone remember, I saw that in Bridgeport. It was so fun. Okay, that doesn't happen like that. It grows slowly, and sometimes trees grow slower and some of them grow faster, right? So the same thing, it depends on how much you water it and how much sun you give it. And that is the same thing with your website. So there's no magic bullet. We're growing plants.
Okay. Okay, we are out of time. There's still a lot more questions. Sorry, we don't have time for them all, but you have Jennifer's contact information there if you want to reach out to Jennifer directly. Again, just also as a reminder that the webinar has been recorded and the materials will be available on our website within the next day or so. You just go to our website, click on workshops and webinars, and then go to on-demand webinars. And our next webinar will be next Tuesday, March the 26th at noon. And the topic is the new Corporate Transparency Act with Cliff Enico presenting. And again, more specifics on our website. And again, if you'd like to take advantage of the individual counseling, you can use the link that we showed earlier on the screen, or just go to our website and click on Request a Mentor. We'd also really appreciate if you could fill out your evaluations. They're very helpful to us going forward. And on behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's live webinar. And in closing, a special big thank you to Jennifer for presenting today. And enjoy your day, everyone, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.